What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Minute Channel. Today, the end of the year is near. We just have a few days from now for that. And today, we wanted to talk about the favorite, or my favorite, top 5 RPGs of 2020. There was a lot of RPGs. It actually was pretty hard to do because the more I was looking at it, the more I was playing these games and like kind of like writing about it. I was like, man, I just want to put all these games, and I could even do a top 10 list of this. But I figured, keep it condensed, top 5 games. Let's go ahead and jump into it. For my number 5 is actually Cyberpunk 2077. It's the only Western RPG in this list, actually. Overall, this game it was released with terrible reception at first. It did have a lot of bugs. A lot of people had a lot of issues with. However, my experience with it with the PlayStation 5 was actually really good. I played a lot of it. I think I put over 50 hours in the game, and it did everything that they promised that they did when it comes to the role-playing aspect. The story was fantastic. It really had a lot of emotion. It had a lot of really good moments. The character development on it was really well as well. But I think one of the best aspects, and the reason why I put it on my list, is because the gameplay was really good. If you ever play a Western RPG when it comes more to the action or everything like that, this game actually had a first-person perspective, but they did a lot of interesting stuff when it comes to the cybernetics of it. This game obviously takes place in a futuristic a year of 2077, where people have implants on their hands and on their faces and everything like that, and it does kind of have this aesthetic of like the cyberpunk world. However, all the gameplay aspects of it and everything like that, all the guns and everything, they're just really interesting, really cool. I think one of the biggest aspects that I liked about this game was that the gameplay was just really fun. It just had a lot of really good mechanics, and it really did a lot of good stuff for me. Overall, this game deserves to be that where I put it at. Moving up next, number 4 is Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII, the remake, it was at first announced a long time ago, and it had a really struggled development. They actually switched developers. They had a completely different studio working on it. They had a different studio working on it. They had a different director. It just had a really rocky development. So when this project was actually announced to be released this year, a lot of people were skeptical, including myself, but I was really excited to check it out and see what they were going to do, continuing or following of the release of the Final Fantasy VII. How is that going to measure up? Is this a remake? What's going on? And the fact is that this game really shocked me in a lot of different ways. First of all, this game looks really good. I think that Square Enix did a fantastic job. The engine they've been working on this game for some time now, but it looks fantastic. Everything from the characters models to the different animations to the boss battles and everything just looks fantastic. This is I will say one of the best looking games this year. It did have some issues here and there, some pop-ins and everything that I particularly experienced and everything, but overall this is a really good game. However, the gameplay aspect was really interesting as well, because they went from a traditional JRPG to a more action RPG based oriented, which was really interesting because it's something that I did not expect. I think most people actually expected just this to be more traditional RPG, but going full hack and slash with a lot of different mechanics was really interesting. It did still have some of the core gameplay from the original Final Fantasy, which kind of serve as a purpose of kind of like the new and all put together and everything. Overall, the story really shocked me as well, because this is not entirely a remake. This is a different, it's something completely different. I think the marketing for this was a little deceptive, but at the same time, it did a pretty good job of kind of setting up some expectations for future games to see what's going to happen next. The gameplay is fantastic, and again, there's a lot of different aspects of it that really remind me of the good old days when I was playing the original game back on my PlayStation 1. Overall, this game did a great job. I think that it definitely set up the expectations for whatever is next in the series, but I'm very excited. This is definitely a good starting point. I don't know when the next game is going to come out. Probably going to be years again. This is kind of the only thing that I have as a caveat. I don't know when the next one's going to be here. It could be years from now. How many of these games are going to be? Is it going to be 3 or 4 games? I don't know. Who knows? But definitely for now, this deserves a spot to be in the top RPGs this year. It did have a lot of good stuff when it comes to the gameplay as well as the story. So moving up next, I'm at number 3. So Persona 5 Rojo is obviously one of my favorite games of all time. It's in pretty much on my list here. I had a great time playing it. Overall, Persona 5 Rojo is here because it is a remaster of the original Persona 5, which only came out a few years ago. It did have a couple different stuff that they added to it, such as more gameplay features. It did feature a brand new ending with brand new characters and a whole new third semester, which added maybe about 30 hours of more gameplay. Overall, this shocked me because what they did with this was introduce new characters and a new story, which made me really care for a lot of this stuff. The new characters were really interesting and really exciting. They have a really colorful background with all these different storylines. Overall, I really like this game. I think the new gameplay features may or may not be for the best. A lot of the features really make Persona 5 Rojo kind of a little weird when it comes to the gameplay. I think there were some balancing issues as well there. However, overall, I really enjoyed my experience with the game. It was fantastic, and overall, the cast is just really memorable. I can't really wait to see what they go next from here. The 25th anniversary for Persona is next year, so they're definitely gonna do some pretty exciting stuff here. So moving on, next on my number 2 is Xenoblade Chronicles, the definitive edition for Switch. So this is actually my first time playing Xenoblade Chronicles. I never played one of these games, and a lot of my friends and a lot of people that I know from YouTube and everything have mentioned the game and said that it will be a good idea for me to play it. So I decided to give it a try and stream the entire game. And right off the bat, through the first 5 hours of the story, it just grabbed me, it just took me. The story is definitely good. A lot of the entire cast is really memorable. There's a lot of really good moments with them. They do a really good job as far as introducing them and telling you more about what they do and everything. They do have some short storylines as well. But the main storyline really just went above and beyond what I expected. We went from this little adventure of this guy just trying to do what he thought it was good to kind of like all this massive stuff. The ending is really crazy as well. This game just had a lot of really good stuff. I feel like I should have played this sooner than now, but I wait a moment that now. I do want to comment, the gameplay is not for everybody. It's definitely more it's a really intricate yet weird style to do the gameplay. A lot of the elements really didn't click for me really well until much later in the game. So it does kind of have this gameplay aspects that I didn't enjoy too much. However, again, the story was so good, the characters writing was excellent. It just did a lot of really good stuff for me. I definitely enjoyed this game a whole lot, and I'm definitely excited to check the second game and see what that's about. Maybe review it in the future and everything. But yeah, this is definitely a game. It deserves to be in the second spot. It's a fantastic JRPG. And my number 1 game this year for RPGs is Yakuza Like a Dragon. This game is funny because it wasn't actually even on my radar at all. A lot of my friends that I know, I also played this game. They were like, you need to play Yakuza, and I was like, look, whenever I'm done with all the games that I want to play this year, I will check it out probably. And finally, one day I was looking at some gameplay and I saw it. I was like, wow, this looks pretty exciting. I want to check it out. It looks really over the top and everything. And this game is crazy interesting. There's a lot of aspects of this game that overall remind me of a lot of different stuff. Yakuza Like a Dragon does take a lot of inspiration from a lot of games like Final Fantasy, Persona, Dragon Quest, and it merges all this stuff with the body of the Yakuza series when it comes to things like being over the top with the story, a lot of the crazy characters that you meet and everything like that. But at the same time, it's flavored with JRPG moments, with a lot of the turn-based RPG style and gameplay and everything like that. But it has a spin on it. It has its own flavor and everything. The character lines, there's so many different quests that you can do here. The world is not really massive, but it's really good. The graphics are fantastic too. It's actually a pretty good looking game, and just looking at all the different stuff and everything really made me want to go on back and play the other games. It's definitely a really fun game. I strongly encourage you guys to check it out. It definitely, to me, the gameplay and the story just made it so fun and so interesting that I just wanted to put it at number 1 here. And definitely deserves all the praise that it got from all the people. I hope this game sold as well as I think it did, because again, it really deserves the praise that it got. It's just a brand new story, brand new gameplay and everything. And it's really welcoming for newcomers too, like myself, because it doesn't really require you to know much about the story. It really carries you along and shows you, along with the new main character, with the new cast and everything. And it just makes it really memorable. Anyway, that is pretty much in this video here. Let me know what your favorite RPG of this year is. There's a lot of different games that I just wanted to put in here. I do want to do some special mentions before I break this game up. One is Tokyo Mirage Sessions. This is a remaster from the original one back on the Wii U. Overall, I really like the gameplay. It's really fun. It really does have a lot of the aspects from the Shin Megami Tensei series. However, I don't really enjoy too much the setting of it, which just has like an idle setting and everything. But again, it's a really excellent game. It does have a lot of stuff from Persona and Shin Megami Tensei, so if you're interested in it, definitely check it out. And my other mention here is gonna be Persona 4 Golden. This is a 12-year-old game, so I didn't really feel like putting it in the list and everything, because it is a good game and I have played it plenty of times. So it is not the first time that I played this game, so I didn't really put it in here. But it's definitely deserves of the praise that it got. It did get on the top 25 games of the year on Steam and everything like that. So it's definitely a really good game, and I'm sure a lot of people want to put it on the top list, so I wanted to put it somewhere here. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this. If you're new, please consider liking and subscribing. I'll see you guys next time.